Like when you showed me your baby picture, it likes for married. I know. Do you have a grandbaby yet? No. Yeah, because I did. She lived in Colorado, and then Dad got married in March. How did you get to She will be back this week. So after you upload your document, it should automatically. It's gonna rush the sentence. She said she's coming. Yeah. So I just knew the other was a fresh. Well, Steiner's a little older. There's the one that used to help you. Let you pay. Oh my gosh. That's like, let's do my extension. She's paying on it. Hey, well, of course we know that. I'm like, I'll pay you less if you do this for me. I know how to buy kids. Like, how do you make Carly knows? Lexus, can I go? 5 children. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm in the right place for that. Yes, we took back Highland Park. Okay. Yeah, because I was over by there not too long ago, and I was like, You're saying, no, you're saying yeah, these are just the tabs. These are just the tabs. Yeah, I mean, still make up for So your stuff is when where would that come from? Okay, so you're going to hit start. You're going to do everything off the record, they just got to start, and then try to start or something. No, I'm only getting it from our So normally I would do it for $100. I would wait till like 5 minutes so get ready to work. Yeah. Yeah, so let me see that stuff. I still need to do it on my own. So I'm going to set up the meeting. One, try to understand a lot more, obviously, and two, it's huge. It is huge. And this program, it's by the best. It's things change, but those things. So it's the same customer base, but there's no resources. So that's just nice. Just kind of feel like it's just a whole different. So we, instead of doing security council, we just open the first and I haven't gotten to it. Well, but they do like more. I don't know, but I'll tell you, this is the second time I've taken. Yeah, because what you said, shot in 25 years. What's your head up here? Yeah. How would you do all this? Yeah. Then, hey, how are you? Good, how are you? Long time no see. Happy birthday. I'm at the doctor. Make sure you're on the index. Okay, you're saying that index for this. Oh, yeah. But this is what I'm saying is this. Maybe for now, you're on that right. Okay, and so it goes to the next one. Then you say right.
Put it in. Chili. But otherwise, real good. Yep. Bad for the kids. Yeah. Didn't suck. Okay. The second year in a row. Neither do we, but we make a point of catering to. We've got neighbors that moved there from Australia about 2 years ago. We seem to be their local cultural advisors.
What is television and what's appropriate?
Yeah, exactly. So anyway. Yeah. If it's in our house more than 48 hours, I end up eating half of it. Now, bring it in and put it on the table in a kitchen. It'll be gone in about 2 hours. Oh, I mean, sorry. If I bring it into the office and put it on the kitchen table in the office, but then the staff just I understand. We have no such restraint. That's right. That's right. Oh, how are you? Pretty good. Yep. Having a good time with our 2 new planners. Well, I guess they're not that new. They've been with us a year now. The other one's coming up on year 4. Yep. She hit the ground running. Chelsea. She actually looks a lot like a slightly shorter version of Cat. Both got Minnesota upbringing, so when the 2 of them start talking and the Minnesota accent comes out, I sit between them and it's delightful. Oh yeah. Don't you know? I'm learning a lot about sausage and where to get the cheese curds there. There's a restaurant downtown. It's been entertaining. No, I think they ham it up to the rest of us. Yeah, a bit. It's a job and a show. Yep.
Good morning. I'm going to call to order the public meeting of the Arapahoe County Board of County Commissioners for October 30th, 2018. To my left is Ron Carl, the county attorney. To my far right is Jolene Sanchez, the assistant clerk to the board. Ms. Sanchez, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Jackson is absent and excused.
Correct.
Commissioner Holland?
Here.
Commissioner Sharp?
Here.
Commissioner Conti? Good morning. Commissioner Baker?
Here. Commissioner Conti, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Mr. Carl, are there any modifications to the agenda this morning?
Yes, it is requested that the board pull item 6C from the consent agenda.
Are there any comments or questions about that from any of the commissioners? All right.
Mr. Chair, I would motion approval of the consent agenda as amended.
Second.
Adoption of the agenda is the same as amended. Okay. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? Seeing none, that motion passes. We have one ceremony this morning, bittersweet ceremony for the retirement of Val Bailey. We have the Department Director for Community Resources here, Mr. Don Clemmie. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Well, today we're recognizing the retirement of Val Bailey after 30 years of work with Arapahoe County, Arapahoe Douglas Works. And not only is this going to be a loss for Arapahoe County government and for AD Works, but it's also a loss for the state of Colorado because Val is one of the experts in the Colorado Works program in the state of Colorado. So anyway, with that, it's bittersweet for us as staff that have worked with her for so many years, but we wish her well in her future and would ask that the chair read the resolution. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I will make the motion to approve the following resolution. Whereas Valerie Bailey officially began her career with Arapahoe County on April 13th, 1988, and will retire on November 1st, 2018, after over 30 years of valuable service in the Community Resources Department. And whereas Valerie started her career with Arapahoe County working as a temporary pool employee in May of 1987 in the accounting department. And whereas on April 13th, 1988, Valerie began working part-time at Arapahoe Douglas Works as an admin clerk 2, while still working in the accounting department. And whereas Valerie then became a regular full-time county employee on June 21st, 1988. She went on to be a case aide 1 and was promoted to a case aide 2. And whereas Valerie became a workforce specialist 1 in June of 1996 and was promoted to a workforce specialist 2 in December of 1998. And whereas in August of 1999, Valerie became a program coordinator in the Colorado Works program. And whereas Valerie has been the Colorado Works program supervisor since August of 2009. And whereas Valerie is currently a key member of the leadership of Arapahoe Douglas Works and will be missed by her teammates. And whereas Valerie's extraordinary work ethic, dependability, unwavering dedication to high-quality customer service, and institutional knowledge have deeply and positively impacted countless citizens and employees of Arapahoe and Douglas counties. And even though she will be greatly missed and her achievements will remain in her absence, Arapahoe Douglas Works and the Community Resources Department is certain she will enjoy her retirement, spending more time with her family. Now, therefore, Be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Arapahoe County, the board hereby officially recognizes the contribution that Valerie Bailey has made as a valued employee of Arapahoe County and hereby declares that her future shall prosper as Arapahoe County has under her dedication and service.
I'll second that motion.
Motion has been seconded, made by Commissioner Baker, seconded by Commissioner Sharp. All in favor? Aye. And I'm sure there are no opposition to that. So we would ask that, Valerie, can you come forward and if you'd like to say a few words? And if anyone else would like to come forward and say a few words about Val, that'd be great too.
Was trying not to cry. Didn't make it. Thank you for reading that for me. Many years ago when I started with Arapahoe County. I'm going to retire from work, and I am. It has truly been an honor and a pleasure to serve the citizens of Arapahoe County and to know how much I've grown since I've been here and all the people that I've met, not just the citizens that I've served, but the people that I work with. I will miss the work, but what I'll miss most of all is the people that I work with. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anybody else want to come forward and say a few words about Valerie? Kelly.
Hello, how are you guys? Good morning. I am Kelly Folks, the division manager of Arapahoe Douglas Works. I was blessed to meet Valerie almost 14 years ago when I came working at Arapahoe County. She has welcomed me and taught me so much that I have no words of what I would like to express to thank her for her time, dedication, and commitment that she has, not only to the employees at Arapahoe Douglas Works, but truly to all of the citizens of Arapahoe County. She has done a tremendous job in especially servicing our low-income populations and making sure that they get back to work and are part of society and doing what they need to do. And so without her, we would have not been where we are today. And so she's done some tremendous work in making sure we're moving forward and a best-in-class workforce system for our citizens. So thank you, Val, for your time, dedication, and commitment to all that we do. Thank you, guys.
Very much. I worked with Valerie Comfort for about 20 years as well during this time, and I just want to say I know how hard you worked. I know all the very difficult things that you've done over the years, and I just want to say Arapahoe County appreciates it. Darcy Kennedy.
Hi, good morning, everybody. I hadn't planned on talking originally, but I feel like it's almost I have to get up and say a few more things about Val that haven't been mentioned, and that's I've known Val for 27 years. I started in 1991, so I knew Val back in the early days, and she's always been an amazing employee. And I think one of the real losses to the county, and certainly not only to our department, but to Human Services, is she was there when CBMS started. And she has been such an expert in that system, leading through all the problems and the revisions and all the things that we had to deal with all these years. She was at the forefront. I mean, she knows that system inside and out. And the high integrity and the high quality of the work that she has possessed from day one is just, it just can't be matched. So she's going to be a loss. And I will miss her. Thank you, Val.
Any commissioners? Commissioner Sharp.
Well, I just want to say, come on down, bless you for being involved with CBMS. I mean, what you went through with that, and now we're going through a transformation to the next sort of generation, but everything that was part of that system, the fear still in everybody's heart that about the new system given about CBMS in the past. But thank you, and I think that what's really, really important to me about the work that you've done is for the citizens of Arapahoe County, and how important that is to have your support and getting people what they need to get back to work, and how important that is for everybody, for themselves, for their families, for their kids, to be able to look at parents, friends, family members and say, hey, that's what I need to be working to, and how do I do the best to be able to get there. So thank you very much. I wish you the absolute best in retirement. But boy, sounds like it's going to be tough without you. But thank you for 30 years. Wow. Very much appreciated.
Good morning, Najwa.
Good morning. How are you? Val by far has the expertise, that none of us can match across the state and even across the nation. But I think it would be a shame if we didn't say Val was the giant. A lot of us grew our careers on her shoulders, and she was amazing at allowing those of us that came in after her to be under her wing and learn and be able to build our careers. So she definitely walked the walk and talked the talk of workforce development, both externally and internally. But the list is probably way too long of the number of us that built our careers on her shoulders. She's definitely a giant. And although I'm no longer with the county, I can honestly say if it hadn't been for Val Bailey, I wouldn't be where I'm at today in my career. So thank you, Val.
Thank you. Commissioners? Commissioner Holt.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The career that you've had, Val, reflects what's so important to us as county commissioners and as a county, and that is first. And your career clearly exemplifies that statement. But I think what one of the things that I appreciate that you've brought to this county is compassion and a huge heart. And you've touched the lives of thousands of people, and that passion is reflected in people finding a better life in their circumstances. So thank you very much for what you've done.
Commissioner Conti.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And Val, I'd just like to put my little 2 cents in here. I know that we never had an opportunity to work personally together, but I want to, just speak on behalf of those of us, and I think staff is fully aware that the elected officials come and go, but it is the staff that remains. And it is your institutional knowledge that is often the wind beneath our wings. And I just want to thank you for that and what you've done to not only support the staff in your office, but also the various electeds that have come and gone through your 30 years. So thank you.
Thank you very much. We get a lot of applause sometimes as elected officials, but we want to send you out the door with our applause. So thank you very, very much. Thank you. We're going to move on to the consent agenda. Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. Citizen comment period. Are there any citizens here that would like to address anything that's not already scheduled for public comment? Seeing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda. I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. I would entertain a motion to approve the items on the consent agenda.
So moved.
As modified.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Holland.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Sharp. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes. We have one general business item this morning, and we'd like to welcome our public trustee, Sue Ryden, and she's going to present to the board her proposed budget for 2019. Good morning, Ms. Ryden.
Good morning, everyone. Good to see you this morning. I'm really pleased to be here to present our 2019 budget for the Arapahoe County Public Trustee's Office. I'll first give you a summary of the budget and then take any questions you might have. In preparing the 2019 proposed budget, I want to again thank County Attorney Ron Carl for assigning Assistant County Attorney Monica Kovaci to us. She has just provided excellent legal help. She understands and is able to explain to us, non-lawyers, about how things work in county government and elsewhere. And she has just been really important in helping us in all of our legal issues. And I want to thank you, the county commissioners, and your staff, as well as the staff in the county clerk's office, for partnering with us to provide a high level of customer service to the public. As you all know, Colorado's public trustee system is unique among 50 states. The legislature created this system in 1894 during a deep recession brought on by the silver crash of the 1890s. They wanted to create a process that was efficient, economical, and fair to all parties involved in the foreclosure process. Essentially, they moved almost all real estate foreclosures from the courts to the public trustees. The deed of trust secures the loan on a property, and it gives the public trustee the authority to sell the property if the borrower defaults on the loan. So it's a huge responsibility that we have. To this day, we remain independent from, but in service to, our counties. We play a quasi-judicial role as an impartial referee, making sure everyone follows the rules as set forth by the General Assembly, and we are self-funded through fees that are set in statute. With the exception of Denver and Broomfield, the public trustees in the 10 largest counties are appointed by the governor after a rigorous application process through the Office of Boards and Commissions. Applicants for the position must have a 4-year college degree and 5 years administrative or business experience, or 10 years administrative or business experience. So together, these 10 offices that are appointed by the governor, the 10 largest counties in the metro area mostly, but also Pueblo, Colorado Springs, and Grand Junction, we handle about 75% of all the foreclosures in the state. The treasurers in the remaining 52 counties serve as the public trustee, as their volume of releases and foreclosures cannot support a separate standalone office. Now to the 2019 budget. All public trustees are required to prepare and present their annual budgets to their Board of County Commissioners and to the Colorado Department of Local Affairs. The budget process is also set in statute. October 15th is the deadline for the public trustee to complete the proposed budget. Then we must hold a public hearing to allow comment. This year's public hearing was held on October 24th, following our foreclosure auction. And pursuant to CRS 29-1-106-3A, a notice of the public hearing was published in the Sentinel on October 11th. If you'll turn to page 4 of your budget, I hope you have it today. If not, I can kind of explain. You'll see our current fee schedule and our projected revenues for 2019. As you know, our fees are set by the legislature and have not been raised since 2001. While our office remains solidly in the black, many counties, especially those in rural areas, are having trouble meeting expenses because we have a very, very, actually historic low volume of foreclosures, which is good news for the economy and for all of our homeowners. But because we are reliant on fees, it does impact our offices. And we also have seen lower numbers of releases of deeds of trust, which is the other major thing that we do. When you pay off your mortgage, refinance, that release of deed of trust goes through our office. And we are very meticulous in making sure the paperwork is correct because it really affects the title history of the property. And we do have to reject about 10% that come through for various errors and omissions and have them resubmit with the proper paperwork. So the Public Trustees Association of Colorado is hoping to get a bill passed in the next legislative session to increase fees and simplify the fee structure. For Arapahoe County, it could mean several $100,000 in additional revenues. In the meantime, we continue to be conservative in our budget estimate as we have no control over our revenues. For the first 9 months of 2018, we experienced a 25 to 30% drop in releases of deeds of trust and a continued downward trend in foreclosures. The number of releases of deeds of trust decreased from 30,961 at the end of September last year to 24,024 through September of this year. The number of foreclosures filed is also down from this time last year, from 530 to 490. As you can see in the graph on page 9, we had fairly steady level of releases at around 40,000 a year over the previous 4 years. But in 2018, this year, we are estimating a drop to around 30,000. So that's like a 25% drop. At the same time, foreclosure income is lower due to lower foreclosure starts and the good news, a higher rate of owners being able to cure their defaults and stopping the foreclosure process. Today we're at a historic low point, opening only about 10% of the number of foreclosures we were doing at the height of the foreclosure crisis in 2010. So over the past 3 years, we've gone from 730 foreclosure starts to 706 to an estimated 600 this year, and we're projecting a similar number in 2019. On the expense side of the ledger, we remain frugal, but the cost of providing services continues its upward trajectory, just like every other government agency and business that we know about. Payroll and benefits, of course, take the lion's share, with software licenses, hardware upgrades, and general office expenses contributing to the expense of providing public trustee services as required by Article 38 of the Colorado Revised Statutes. If you would turn to page 10, the top graph shows the trend in revenue and expenses. Revenues outpaced expenses fairly significantly over the previous 4 years, but the margin did shrink this year, and maybe even smaller next year, without a proposed fee increase. Last year, we realized nearly $35,000 in miscellaneous fees from transferring nearly $1.7 million in unclaimed funds to the Great Colorado Payback. These funds represented overbids from foreclosure sales that were due to homeowners who never claimed them, as well as uncashed checks paid to lenders and others in refunded fees. These funds remained unclaimed even after numerous attempts to contact the owners. In the past, the Public Trustee's Office held these funds for 5 years before transferring them to the county treasurer. A new law passed in 2016 requires us now to transfer the funds directly to the state treasurer every 6 months. So now that we are transferring smaller amounts more frequently, the income from this fee is lower. During 2017, expenses dropped almost 25%. That was last year, due to having 3 positions open for several months during the year. And thanks to the experience and efficiency of our staff, including our Chief Deputy Trustee, Diana Springfield, and our Senior Deputy Trustee, Diane Candelaria, both of whom have served the office for many years, we only had to fill one of those empty positions. So we've gotten more and more efficient as we improve our automation over time, and just due to a lot of hard work on the part of our employees. And as you know, we're required to maintain reserves that are equal to the previous year's expenses. And once our required reserve is met, then all revenues in excess of expenses are transferred to the county. So the bottom graph on page 10 shows the excess revenue the Public Trustee's Office has transferred to the county since 2014. Technology and automation have helped us keep costs down, and we are able to adjust personnel as the workload requires. And I'm proud to repeat what I said last year when I had only been in office for a few months. The Arapahoe County Public Trustee's Office is a leader in the state for performance and efficiency. No one in our office can remember a year when we didn't send substantial funds to the county treasury. So predicting future numbers is virtually impossible, as we have no control over the forces that impact us. This business is cyclical, and no one knows when or how fast the cycle will start trending up again. We know that it will eventually. We are hoping it will not be as severe as the last one that we saw. But nevertheless, the trends in foreclosures and releases of deeds of trust have stabilized over the past few years, and that's why we're budgeting for similar results next year. To recap, please turn to page 11. You'll see our budget estimate for this year and our projections for 2019. We are projecting $635,500 in revenues and $425,390 in expenses, for a net income of $210,000. Because our expenses have increased year over year, our 2019 reserve fund will be higher at $400,480. The net amount transferred to the county is projected at $185,200. This is without a fee increase. If the proposed fee bill passes, Arapahoe County would see additional income prorated to the date that the increase would take effect, and we're hoping it would be early in the year if it happens. So thank you for your time and attention. I'm ready to answer any questions you might have about our budget.
questions for Ms. Wright? You must have done a really good job, Commissioner
I
Sharp.
just want to thank you. I think this is very well presented and concise and gives us, the history and I too, and when I first started here at the county, before I was elected, I met with Corbin Sackdahl and was looking at the map of foreclosures, and largely in Aurora. I mean, it was a huge cluster, and this is great news to be able to have that coming down so much for our citizens. So, good news. And thank you for running a very tight ship over there with regards to the budget. So appreciate it, Sue.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
There's no motion or anything on that.
There's a motion. Okay. Is this here, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Mr. Chairman, I hereby move to accept the Arapahoe County Public Trustees 2019 budget.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Holland, seconded by Commissioner Conti. Any further discussion or comments? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? We have Commissioner Jackson, who's absent and excused. So that motion carries. Thank you very much. Are there any commissioner comments this morning? Commissioner Conti?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. This week has weighed heavy on our hearts, and our thoughts and prayers go out to the families of the 11 victims from the Pittsburgh Temple in the recent shooting event. These senseless acts of violence always pain our hearts, and I just wanted to say how strongly we stand with the Pittsburgh community in their time of great loss and great suffering.
Thank you. Any other commissioner comments? Or seeing none, we are adjourned.